So this is my second video. I wasn't able to attend the Freedom Speech yesterday, the Freedom March. I was unfortunately committed to a stag do. But it was interesting nevertheless to go on that because there was 10 other adults, all of around the similar age, late 40s, early 50s. The whole point obviously was to have a jolly and send the groom off with a thumping headache. That was achieved with style. But I used the opportunity to just ask amongst the group individually how many of them knew that this march was taking place. And without exception, not one of them. Not one of them knew about the march. And I guess that's down to two things. Obviously, the mainstream media didn't cover it, didn't give it any headlines, didn't give it any, this is happening this weekend. But I also think that the people that did know about it share amongst themselves. Now, if you've got, let's take a simple number, 10,000 people attending a march, and those 10,000 people were to tell two other people, you've got 30,000 people just by telling each of them telling two people about it. And I know there are major issues currently with putting your head above the parapet. It's a scary place. I've only been aware of what's been going on for a very short period of time. A good example of what the journey I've been on is watching Red Pill Phil and his channel, and how he has gone down the rabbit hole, and how he really feels now he can't come back out because he's seen too much and he knows too much. And that's how I feel. I feel like I've learnt too much in a short space of time, and I'm gagging to tell others. So I used this opportunity, couldn't be on the march, but used this opportunity to speak to people. And there was a bit of banter about it, you know. Didn't know we had a Nazi with us, didn't know we had a racist with us, didn't know we had a fascist with us, all that kind of thing. But they realised that I'm none of those things. I'm just a parent, middle of the road, lean possibly towards the Conservatives, but love my country, major patriot. Father fought during the war, very proud of his history, my history as a family, and just don't want to see this country go backwards. We defended against an ideology in 1939. We declared war. We didn't sit back and wait. And I think there should be a recurrence of that. But until more people become aware, and it was fantastic to see the numbers that turned out of the march. And it was fantastic for the likes of Tommy Robinson to see that for the last 10 years he's been banging his head, and he's now starting to get some momentum. And it is momentum because, you know, it's like building up a snowball. It's hard work at the start, but once you get it to a certain size, it starts to grow very quickly. And the point I'm making on this is that I spoke to 4 people. I did speak to everyone, but 4 people wanted to listen, and in degrees wanted to listen. And I'd like to think I've opened their eyes to it. I've opened, you know, maybe 1 or 2 of them will stick their eyes above the parapet and maybe look at a couple of channels I recommended them to do so. And there's so much on the internet that to be found and to be seen. But sometimes it is a case of finding it. Sometimes it is a case of having to randomly do a search and see what you come up with. I think we all should make a concerted effort not to just keep sharing amongst ourselves, but to pick someone outside of the box, pick someone outside of the circle, and send them a video. Maybe not one of the harder ones to get your head round, but watch one of the softer ones. You know, Tell someone to stop calling these grooming gangs. Call them what they are, child rape gangs. Let's get that as a vocabulary. Let's stop calling it an ideology. Let's call it an ideology for idiots. Let's talk about the fact that Islam want to take us back hundreds of years. That they want to go back to biblical times in the way they treat people. Let's talk to the gay and say, do you know that Islam want to do this to you? Let's talk to the women and say, do you know Sharia law would request you to do this? Let's pick a topic, take it, and get it out there. If we all do it to one person, so let's keep the 10,000 number. If we all do it one person, that's 20,000 people. If they do it, that's 30,000 people, so on and so forth. It's about getting the word out. We are on public media in regards to all of the likes of YouTube and Twitter and the likes are all privately owned. If these companies want to censor certain people, and the bigger ones are the ones they're going to go after, as with Tommy being taken off Twitter, they in one fell swoop can take down 100,000 plus people that can't hear from Tommy. But of course that doesn't quite work that way, because there are so many people that will still get his message out there. The point I make on that is that these privately owned companies will kill their own market if they do that. They need people to use the channels for the advertisers, for their revenue. So if they continue to chop people off, they will lose revenue. So they'll only go after the big numbers, the loud people, the ones that have got their head way above the parapet. So just to reiterate my point and keep this video relatively short, please share this. It's not anything slick, it's just me, old sod, chewing a fat, but saying what I think. No editing, just talking. From the heart, saying it as I see it. I love my country. What I see from putting my head in the rabbit hole is scary. The concept of media censorship, the concept of people choosing what you can hear about, people choosing what we can be educated with. Tell someone that's outside the circuit. Find someone that you think might be prepared to listen. Talk about it at the pub. Did you know, by the way, there was a weekend, there was a march? I went on it, he went on it, so-and-so was talking. You ever heard of Milo? You ever heard of Tommy Robinson? Do you know who the DFA are? Start the conversation. What's the worst that can happen? They're going to put a tin foil on your head? Maybe that's not such a bad idea. Thanks for watching. Share if you can, and keep an eye out for some more. Thanks.